Hello and welcome everyone. This is Amy of AJC Magic TV. I do appreciate everyone coming in. We'll give a few moments. I know T. Marie's place was just finishing, will be finishing up soon, and hopefully others will jump in. I'm Amy of AJC Magic TV. We go live Wednesdays at 6 p.m. And at least we try to go live. We usually talk about Disney, play trivia. Sometimes we'll talk about other items that are going on out there. Um, also, right now, today, we'll be talking about my Disney trip for the 50th celebration on October 1st. That whole trip and going to see Ratatouille, the ride, and all the new shows and everything. And also just talking about other Disney news. I will finally pull the trigger and subscribe. Yes, please do, Garrett. That would be much appreciated. Um, Not that I always ask, but I do appreciate if you guys, when you do come in and you're enjoying, please hit that thumbs up button. It does help out the channel, and it lets YouTube know that, hey, you're really enjoying the streams. We'll get back to some trivia as time goes on. I have all kinds of different games. We have pop trivia, we have Disney trivia, we have Harry Potter trivia, I have Marvel trivia, Star Wars trivia. So there's all kinds of trivia plus Christmas trivia. Haven't found like a Halloween trivia or anything like that, but we could talk about the holidays. I know Halloween is the big holiday this month, and it just seems like everybody wants to rush Halloween and move into Christmas. That's okay in a way, but um, I like one type at a time. Hello, Nicole. Thank you for joining. Roden Heisler. I did a thumbs up. Thank you very much, and thank you for joining. And I'll be talking about my trip, and I do have a lot of merch. Not the rival too much of the Philly crew, but it's kind of up there. I mean, I'm sure if I would have went to Halloween Horror Nights, I probably would have had a handful more of different T-shirts and different merch from Halloween Horror Nights or Universal. Didn't get a chance to go there, although I was going to try to go one afternoon and see that and everything. I'll be right back. I just need to do something. I just remembered. But before I get in to everything, we'll wait for people. Hello, Penguin Master. Welcome in. Thank you for joining. You'll probably want to see some of the merch because some of the merchandise that I got are for various family members and friends, and also myself, um, and everything. So I guess Penguins Master, you had a big win last night for the Penguins for their opening game of the season, even though they were on the road playing the Tampa Bay Lightning. Um, so that was good for you, and hopefully I know it's early in the game, in the year. It's just their first game, so who knows how everything will go. So we'll see how everything goes. Please share out the stream if you can. That does help out bringing in people. Let us know that we're live, and I'll be talking about some of the things I did on the trip, plus show all the as much merchandise as I can at the time. Hello, Pam's fam. Thank you for joining. Much appreciated. It's great to see you in the chats. Hello, Annie Koo. Thank you for joining. Hello, Cricket Fox. So I do appreciate you all coming in, and we'll get started here in a few moments. I know there's like different Disney news out there that, of course, the Disney Genie will be starting pretty soon, and then doing the Genie Plus. So that'll all be starting. And just as they keep adding different merchandise and just other events happening. So, but for me, my trip started out originally. I was planning on just going down starting on September 30th and then kind of go a little further into after the October 1st date. But when Ratatouille pass holder previews came up, at first I thought, gee, I missed it, and because they might only had a couple days available. And later that day, I am a pass holder, and I saw the link on something else, and I went and pressed it in, and they still had a bunch of dates left. Not where I could have done a quick weekend type of trip. Hello, Ed from Texas Takes, no problem. Why is it $5 more at Disneyland? I don't know. You have to ask Mr. Bob Chapek or whoever makes up the prices for that. That's interesting. I often wonder why. Maybe it's the technology or something. So we'll see. Or you guys just have a higher cost of living out in California. I don't know. But I started out the trip. I got the Ratatouille pass holder, and when I was looking at the dates, I thought, okay, I'll come in a couple of days earlier. But then that meant I didn't have to get to stay. Yeah, that's true. That's right, Sebastian the Crab. That's why it's $5 more, because you guys get the photo passes included in your Disney Genie Plus or whatever, whether it's the Disney Genie or the Plus part that you pay for. So that's what it is. You get photos. Yeah, that's the thing too. I'm going to kind of miss that on my annual pass. I know my annual pass expires here in November, towards the end of November, and I'm debating about the paying the extra for the photo passes. I do like doing it, especially when you're with a group of people. It's just easier if you can get a photo pass person. Although I found that the lines for a lot of the photo passes were long for certain places and areas. So there was times I didn't stop, but then there was times I lucked out when I like the Epcot one that a lot of you saw on Instagram, where you're kind of outside looking into the world, like type of one. I'll have to try and find the one. I think there's one at Hollywood Studios and Galaxy's Edge, and I think there's one in Animal Kingdom, but I didn't really notice anybody having that one. But if there's no line, sometimes I'll go ahead and jump in, or maybe 2 or 3 people, and I'll jump in. Yeah, that'll be interesting, because the next trip that I do take, it'll be the Genie and the Genie Plus time. I'm not sure what I'll do. For a quick trip, it might be worth it to try to get on some of my favorite different rides. I know, of course, the ones that you really want to ride, you got to pay the extra won't charge, but that means you don't have to buy the Genie Plus. You could just go ahead and buy that ticket. I will admit, though, at my local amusement park, I have paid to jump the line for a 2.5, 3 hour wait for their roller coaster one Sunday or one Saturday. I think it was a Saturday or Sunday. Hello, Teresa. I hope you're having a great time in Disney. I know I did. So I'd have to think about it. It just depends. I've been on a lot of the rides a lot of times that they had, and I missed a lot of rides this time just because I was having fun and everything. But I did start my trip on Tuesday, the 28th, I believe, and it was my Ratatouille pass holder day. So I spent the day at Epcot and went there, and I went back to the Ratatouille ride. And when I went, it wasn't as busy in there, so I got to ride it a couple times. Plus, was able to look at. They had like a cart of merchandise that they eventually then opened up a big area for merchandise for Ratatouille when it was the official day. But as I was there, hello Expedition Greg, thank you for joining. As I was there, I knew that Ed and Heather of Texas Takes was there, and we kept texting. And I said, well, I'm finishing up the Ratatouille because I did try crepes and I did ride the ride. I actually ended up total 3 times the ride, twice myself. And then I rode with Ed and Heather of Texas Takes. I went back with them during their time and rode once. They went back, I believe, again. But when they went, it was a little bit more crowded, but not too bad. But by then, my feet were getting tired and everything like that, that I was like, I need to go have a seat and wait and see what's going on. Oh, yes, that's the big news, too. Yeehaw Bob starts tomorrow night at the Rivers Roost at Port Orleans Riverside. So that's real exciting. That's the big news to go see Yeehaw Bob starting tomorrow evening. I'm sure there'll be a lot of vlogs and streams. I know Corey Meets World is planning to go there, and I think a few other people. So yeah, that'll be fun, Greg. I know when I saw him on the Dis show that they did for the weekend, that weekend thing when they had all those past musicians and everything, the Dis family reunion. That would have been fun to be down there for that. I'm gonna have to pay more attention to like some of their events and things, and if they ever, I think they kind of do it again because it's kind of like a big fundraiser for them, so that would be cool to do. But I got to ride the Ratatouille ride, and then that day, I was able to pick up merchandise there, which I was kind of glad I did buy some of it already before the preview. I'm trying to see what I did with it because I have everything spread out because I bought a lot. And then I got more once they opened up the event center in Epcot between Canada and the UK pavilion, the UK pavilion in Canada. You can go back to the World Show Place, and they actually had all the merchandise back there. But one of the things I got, and I haven't tried it yet, but one of these days I'm going to do a video. But this is a remote control Remy mouse, and you put it, there must be a magnet there, and you put it underneath your shirt, and then you kind of direct him, and he'll climb around on your clothing or your back or whatever. But I thought it was really cool. I saw a few people demonstrating it. I did see other people who purchased this, and it looks really neat. So one of these days I'll have to try it and do a vlog and show how he runs and stuff. But it's really cool. But it was the remote control Remy. And then I picked up the ride, the cars for the ride. And they look exactly like this. And these are like bumper cars. They're electric. I haven't pulled the tabs yet just because I don't want to use them just yet. But I got the Remy one, and then I believe the other one's in Mule. So I got the pink and gray. I don't know if there was another color or not, because the only two that I've seen were these two the day that I bought them, and then even when I was in the World Show Place. But they're the cars, and they do have wheels, and they are battery operated and everything like that. Just another dessert. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cute. I enjoyed it. It was interesting because when I did get to ride it 3 times, the one thing I noticed that you do get different scenes each time that you ride. And like the first time I went through, and then the second time I was like, boy, this scene seems a lot different. And then I kind of confirmed it when I rode with Ed and Heather on with Texas Takes, that each time you're in a different part of each scenes of the ride. I think it's cute. It's entertaining. Would I wait a long time for that? No. Quite honestly, for me, I wouldn't. If you have kids and stuff, it's a cute ride. The kids will love it. As long as they don't have a problem wearing 3D glasses and, and can sit there and stuff. But I thought it was cute. It's entertaining. If you've ever been to Paris, Disneyland, it's the exact replica. I know for my niece, she actually got to ride it in Paris. So she was kind of excited for it to come to Epcot, but then when she actually got to ride it for their previews, she was just like, it's entertaining and it's exactly the same. But for her back then, she was excited about the Ratatouille ride because there was nothing like that at Disney. And of course, now with Rise of the Resistance and Mickey's Runaway Railway, it's all that magnetic floor. There's no trackless ride type of thing. But I think the kids would enjoy it a lot more, if you have kids and stuff like that. It's cute. I'm not, I think everybody should at least try it out once. And then you can decide for yourself. So I thought it was entertaining. I wrote it 3 times. I didn't. I was tried for the virtual pass on the second when I did have Epcot again, and I didn't get it. It filled up real quick. But then when 1 o'clock came, I totally forgot. And how I knew that I forgot is they announced that all the spaces were filled for the 1 o'clock Ratatouille, like at 10 after 1. So I was like, oh well, I missed it. But I wasn't like too upset either because I did get to ride it a few times. So I mean, it would have been fun to ride it again on another Epcot day, but it wasn't like my opening days for Epcot. For that, if you could actually pick the park reservation and then go to Epcot and check in, and then park hop earlier than 2 o'clock, I might have done that. But for me, I mean, I enjoy Epcot, but I'd rather go to the places where I can get more attractions and different things done than at Epcot. I do enjoy Epcot at times for that, but for me, it's more of a park hopping place than like an opening place at times. So that was a thing. And in fact, on October 2nd, when I went on that Saturday, by the time I showed up at Epcot, because I decided to go to Disney Springs, to that. Yeah, I got there a little later and kind of walked in, and a lot of the lines for all the attractions up front were pretty much down. Everybody was back in the World Showcase. I never watched Ratatouille at all the way through. Yeah, I don't know if you really have to know the movie or not. I mean, it's good to know it because when you're going through the line, and there's a little bit of a like scene with Gusteau and stuff. So that part you might, and some of the scenes are right from the movie since it is all screens and everything. Welcome in, Ryan, Captain Akron. Thank you for joining. Hello, Hitchhiking Bones. Thank you for joining. So that was some of the Ratatouille stuff. And then some of the other Ratatouille items that I got later in the trip when no problem. This Our Dreams. Thank you for joining. I picked up the time clock for the Remy timekeeper time clock. I thought that would be kind of cute. I'll have to see if my sister would like this. If not, it'll be cute in our kitchen. But I thought maybe she would like that. And then I bought the pass holder t-shirts. I'm looking for them because everything's everywhere. It's almost as bad. But this was the regular t-shirt for opening day that they had. And then on the back here, and then I bought a blue one, and it's a light blue one. It's a pass holder one, but it has like an outline of Ratatouille. I actually wore that one of the days I was in the park, so it's actually sitting in my basket of clean clothes. I was trying to look for some of the shirts. Welcome in, Kathy and Randy. Thank you for joining. Welcome in, Angela. Yeah, the timer is kind of cute. I'm not sure if my sister would want that for her kitchen. If not, it'll fit perfect in our kitchen, or I could see if my sister-in-law, because I know Penguin's Master really likes Ratatouille, and that would be her mom, so they might want that in their kitchen. They cook and stuff like that. But they did have these shirts that anybody could buy, and then they had pass holder shirts. Then, thanks to someone, I can't find the other one right now. I was able to get two of the pins, thanks to Jeff of This Our Dreams, because they were at the park on October 1st, and he was able to pick up the pins, and we swapped pins and stuff. There is another one. It must have fell on the floor here, so I'll have to look for it later. But I just have everything kind of laying here, so I do apologize with that. Welcome in, Movie Mania Nick. Thank you for joining. But that was pretty much all the Ratatouille items. And like I said, I do have another pin of Ratatouille. It must have fell on the floor, so I'll have to look for it. Then one of the things before I'll show a lot of the pins that I got since I have them laying here, and that way I can put them back in the bags so they don't fall and get lost or anything like that. But I some friends were able to pick these up for me when the food and wine started. This is actually the only food and wine merchandise that I actually bought, because being there for the 50th anniversary and some other type of merchandise that I was interested in, this stuff really seemed old to me. And not that it was old hat, but I kind of forgot that the Food and Wine Festival actually was going on, except you did see the booths and I did eat from the booths and everything. But I was able to get these from friends. So thank you. They know who they are. And so I'm grateful that they were able to get these for me because they are limited edition and pass holders and stuff. So that was great. With that, then as I was shopping around, there was different 50th anniversary. Yeah, has been going on for too long too. Like you said, and when you walked in, even the Halloween stuff kind of was just sitting there too. I had bought Halloween merchandise before my trip, so I never really went over and looked at it unless somebody back home would have asked me about picking up something for them and everything. Welcome in, Mouse Talk. Thank you. Yes, I did have a great trip. It was one of my longest trips in a while, long time, strictly all Disney and visiting friends, seeing new friends, and just having a great time in the parks and the shows and everything like that. So yeah, I missed Mouse Talk a couple times. Just in the passing, either I got there a little too late or they were already way ahead of me because I was in Hollywood Studios the same day, but I was in line for the Rise of the Resistance, and when I came out, you guys were already exiting the park, and there was no way I could have caught up to you that fast. But then I seen these pins. These were pre-release 50th postcard pins. There is a monorail one, and I forget what the other one is. I'll have to look out for them. But there were 4 pins released with the postcard ones, and this one's the Polynesian, and then the train station on there. So so I was able to at least get these ones. And then in the vintage store, they actually had the lunchbox pin, and if you open it up, that shows the snacks. This was part of the vintage. I know when you join D23, they actually sent out a lunchbox. I don't know if it's the same one that they're selling in the parks. I would have to relook at it, but I know the one side is like this, and then the other side actually has the country bears. I'll have to look at it again because I actually have one of the lunch boxes, so I didn't buy one of the lunch boxes that they had for sale there. But I know yesterday at the store in Disney Springs, the co-op, they actually had the thermoses for sale for the lunch boxes in the co-op building at where the vintage merchandise was. Because I saw Dad got Parks, he was in there, he bought 2 of the thermoses. So I'll have to keep my eye out at some point to see if I can get one of the thermoses for the lunchbox. But this one was cute. Then I also picked up an autograph book. It has Tinkerbell on the outside, and I believe it's her signature on the inside. So they had an autograph book vintage pin. And then they had other ones, but that I like. This one's the license plate one. I like this one, so I picked that up with the Walt Disney World license plate. And then they had this Walt Disney World Florida D pin. Welcome in, Timothy Rainwaters. Thank you very much for joining. If you guys haven't already done so, I would appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up button. It does help out our channel, and it's much appreciated because it does help YouTube know that we're live and people are enjoying our streams and everything, so it does help. But this was one of the pins that they had in there. They also had all kinds of other pins there. They had ones that were like spoons and thimbles. There, there was one that had like Mickey Mouse, and then you open it up and the castle was inside, and everything. So, and I'm sure you've seen on the streams every time people go into the vintage store, you would see a lot of these pins. And then another pin I picked up, I don't collect that particular collection, but the Magic of the Stars pin. I picked up the Simba one because I'm a Leo, and this one was for Leo. So that's one of the reasons why I bought this one. I don't normally collect this collection, but it is all the like Leo, Pisces, the astrological symbols for your horoscopes and stuff. And I'm a Leo, so I really wanted this pin, and they actually had it there. So I picked up the Magic of the Star Leo pin. Yes, I did have a great time. It was fun. My first day after after I had my car at the airport, I kind of left a message for Mike Wheeler, but then I thought, I'm just going to go ahead and drive over to where he lives, because where the airport is and where he is and where Disney is, it's kind of in between both places. And I'm very familiar with the and the surrounding areas because I lived there in the 90s and everything. So I just plugged in his address, and I did kind of message him, and he did say he got the message, but he was on the phone when he got there. And it was funny because it was he was talking to some friends that I knew also on the phone, and just different things was going on at that point. But I had some magic mail that I'd been wanting to mail to him and everything, and I never got around to it. And something for his friend Sebastian too, because Sebastian knew people, and he liked Kennywood Park and the Jackrabbit, and I picked him up some postcards and some ornaments from Kennywood Park. So I packed up all his stuff that I had for Magic Mail and delivered it to him personally. Welcome in, Megan G. Thank you for joining. But yeah, it was a really great time. I did pick up one of the a couple of these pins for different people. But it was the day of pin, and then I do have the pass holder one, but that's in the bag of all the day of merchandise that I have. Welcome in, Friendly Gamer. Thank you for joining. But that was the other pin there. And then I picked up, Russ had gotten me this one because I had seen it. I didn't realize that they were going to have a lot of the pins around, but when they're limited edition, sometimes they don't have too many around. But this one was a pass holder one. So thank you to Russ for picking that up for me, and we stuff. And then I saw this one at our hotel. I do have a couple of these ones that I'll be giving to some family members and stuff that weren't able to go. But that was one of them. There, I know I have some other pins around, but those were some of the ones that I liked. But they did have a lot with the 50s and then the different characters. I know I have another bag of pins somewhere else in my merchandise. But if I find them later at another time, I'll show them on stream at another time. So hang on one moment. I just want to grab a bag to put that in. And then, like I said, I do have another Ratatouille pin, but I think it fell on the floor, and I'll have to look for it later. And I'll show that later. Another item I picked up at the vintage store was this calendar that's posters also, vintage posters, and it's a calendar, and then they show them on the back here. So that'll be a nice calendar to have to use, and then you can save the actual posters on there. So I picked that up at the vintage store with the vintage merchandise. Then this is like a hard plastic. Well, it's kind of like a hard cardboard placemat type of thing. And it's a good thing, but it's like a placemat, and it has the characters on the front. And then on the back, it has the map of the Magic Kingdom from whenever it opened. So that looks pretty cool. And I did buy the they had in a bag the actual map itself that's poster size. I'll grab it here. But it's right here. So I ended up buying that also. But a lot of this stuff, like the one day I was in the Magic Kingdom with Angela and Zach, and we went in through the Emporium, and then we went over to the vintage store, and most of that stuff like was gone right away. People just like, once October 1st hit, it was a madhouse with merchandise and things gone. So I'm kind of glad I got some of it beforehand, and then I was able to get some at Disney Springs afterwards. But I kind of wish I would have done a little bit more shopping for some things before the first, because there was a couple items that I wanted that I didn't pick up, and they never got back in stock. Yeah, and in fact, Timothy, I actually forgot to get this, and I saw somebody with it, and they were going to make me go stand back in line, and I said, all I want is that item, and it was right there. It was just right there by the eggs, and she said, okay. So all I did was just grab it and everything. So it wasn't like, but I would have liked to have gotten 2 of these if I get a chance, but they'll be around, and I'll be back down. So there's some different things I'll be looking for when I go back down. But one of the interesting things that I was able to do, and I'll show them to people. I follow Bob Gurr on Instagram and his corporation, and then there's another company that actually hosts and runs a lot of his visitations and stuff like that. And I had gotten a notice that he was going to be in Orlando, and they were going to have a session where you a question and answer session, and you can go for $7, go and hear him talk about his career as an Imagineer, and even afterwards what all the stuff that he's done. And so I paid the money and everything, and I thought, in case I decided I couldn't go or whatever, I like I told Dawn last night, I almost didn't go and everything because I was having too much fun in the parks and everything. But I think what really then changed, I was talking with Russ about that during the day, and I said, I probably should go. He's turning 90 years old. He's one of the last living Imagineers that actually worked with Walt, part of that last crew of people that work with Walt. And I decided that I would go. Plus, at that point, I was ready for a break because I was going to meet some relatives that had just gotten off work and everything. And so I drove to their place, and then I only had to drive a short way to the hotel and it was a great experience. And then you could buy some merchandise that he could sign, and I bought some of the posters of the rides that he actually helped do. I did a lot more of, yes, he is very awesome. It's interesting. I could listen to him all day. I remember when Corey Meets World and Braden of Mickey Views actually went to see him in another location at some point in Orlando, and plus then Corey had seen him at D23 and everything, and I thought, what, here's a chance. I'm never going to get that chance ever again. And so I went, and then I bought most of the posters for the attractions that he helped build and put together here at Disney World, but I did buy one from the Disneyland thing. But I'm also now wishing I would have bought the Matterhorn poster, because that was the only one. I kind of checked the one site to see if they have them, because they usually sell them in 4s and that. But I picked up the People Mover, and then you can get them autographed by Bob Gurr. So I have the Woodway People Mover, and he did both People Movers in Disneyland and Disney World. And I know he's not too crazy of what they did to it in Disneyland, at least from his comments of joking and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not trying to diss him or anything like that. It's just funny, like, gee, rocket rods, who came up with that idea type of thing, you know. But this is the People Mover at Walt Disney World. Then I picked up the Autotopia one for Tomorrowland in Disneyland because, of course, he is the one who basically was running the Autotopia when the park opened and was fixing the cars as the park was open, and they were down to like 4 or 5, 6 cars by the end of the day there. But so this was the Autotopia one, and now I kind of wish I would have gotten the Matterhorn one because that is another big ride from Disneyland that he was a part of. Then I picked up the Haunted Mansion one. They did have Haunted Mansion ones for Disneyland and Disney World, but I kind of concentrated on Disney World just because even though I've been to Disneyland, it's been so long ago, I don't really have that connection just yet of being a park. But oh yes, that's true. Hitchhiking Dawn, the Hitchhiking Bones, yes. And especially that Disney World has the People Mover and theirs got ruined. But even though I've been to Disneyland, it's been so long ago, I do remember certain things about it and everything, but I don't have that connection. So I picked up the one that he did for Disney World, the Haunted Mansion. But they did have both Haunted Mansion posters there. Then the monorail. He helped tomorrow. I know he did also Disneyland's monorail, but I didn't see a poster for the monorail at Disneyland there. I think on their site that they, the company that helps run it, I'll have to look what the name of the company was that ran it, but this is the monorail system one. And then I picked up the Walt Disney World Railroad, and I really like trains, and he talked about the trains. I don't know, they didn't have a Disneyland Railroad poster either there, so they might have, and I might have overlooked it, because I know when I was first looking at the People Mover, they had the People Mover one for Disneyland, and then I didn't see the one for Disney World, but then later I had seen it. So I picked up 5 posters, so I showed them all to you. But they did the more, when you bought 4 of them, you got a good special. And then I went and bought the extra one. And now thinking of it, I probably could have bought 3 more to go with that because of the Matterhorn ride, and then I probably could have just picked up a couple other ones just for extra. I know they had ones for Pirates of the Caribbean, but he actually said that he didn't really help too much with the Pirates of the Caribbean. I could be wrong, but I thought I heard him say that was one of the ones that he kind of wished that he would have possibly been a part of. But he does remember a lot of the different things ongoing. He seemed like he was the guy that if something wasn't working or whatever, Walt kind of threw him in there and had him kind of start fixing them and everything. Yes, they're all signed and everything. The Walt Disney Railroad is one of my favorites. I love trains, and so I definitely had to get the Walt Disney World Railroad. I actually been on the backstage tour that they had, so that was one of the posters why I picked that one. And I did take pictures, and they did not want you to live stream or anything like that, so I did not do that. But I did kind of take a video of some different snippets for my own personal memory and everything like that, because like I said, when he passes away, a lot of history of Walt Disney World and Disneyland goes away also. So they should put the Skyway back in, and that's true. Monarch moments, that would be pretty cool. And then the other thing they had were these license plates of the ticket booklets. He also signed this one. They had a Disneyland one also, but I picked the Disney World one. And these are all the rides that he helped do, was or at least what the different tickets were. But the e-tickets was in Fantasyland, It's a Small World, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Frontierland was Country Bears Jamboree, Adventureland, Jungle Cruise, and then Liberty Square was the Hall of Presidents and the Haunted Mansion. And these were the ticket booklets at the time. And he did sign that also. So that was pretty cool. There was another company there that actually had models of the Doom Buggy and the Matterhorn bobsled car that you could have bought, but they were pretty pricey. But they seem to sell a lot of different collectibles from Disney. I wish I could remember the name of the company. I don't know if I wrote it down somewhere or like took a picture or whatever. But because I heard him talking to a lot of different people, and there were a lot of different cast members who were in different programs, but a lot of them were engineer in the Imagineering program or some sort of program with Disney that had to do with Imagineering and different things. And a few of them were there, and they were talking about the different stuff that you could purchase and things like that, like furniture from the different hotels, like they do at Cast Connections for cast members. Sometimes you can buy the different furniture and stuff, but they also pick up things. But I can't remember the name of that company. I kind of wish I would, but I'll have to look through and maybe ask sometime. Good evening, Pete McDevitt. Thank you for joining. But that was a very special evening. And took pictures, and it was sold out, and it was great to hear the stories, and especially like when he's talking about how many different prototypes of Abraham Lincoln before they actually got one to work and everything like that. Oh yes, I believe so, because you see a lot of live streamers on the People Mover, and I always enjoyed the People Mover. It's great to ride sometime during the day just to relax, and then in the evening, with all the lighting and everything like that, it's really pretty cool with that. I also picked up these. These were the opening day posters that they handed on the way out the gates the day of on October 1st. So I was able to pick these up. I'll probably frame that and then frame it with the actual the day of brochure that they gave. But I also picked up all the different park 50th anniversary, but I'm sure they'll have these all year round until then. But this was the day of Magic Kingdom commemorative map and everything, and then it did tell you all the different stuff and special sandwiches and everything like that. So I put those all in this particular bag, so I didn't get it smashed up or anything like that. But yeah, I gotta do something with them so they don't get bent up and everything like that. So got lucky, I was able to get a bag whenever they were handing out the posters on the day of when you left the park. And I've already seen a lot of people frame them and everything like that, so that'll be really nice. So I was kind of glad I found that event for Bob Gurr. That was exciting and everything like that. So so that was pretty much it on that. Also on the opening day, I got the gold popcorn bucket. I did have a pink one. Unfortunately for me, when I was packing and everything, I wasn't going to be able to fit everything in, but I also I just really only, at the time, I decided to pick up the pink one. And then my last day I was out there, I wore the pink one to the Magic Kingdom. And while I was looking around, and I actually sold it to somebody that actually had asked about it. Um, I'm not one that look for money in that, so I sold it for what I paid for it. Um, I know, yeah, I could have taken it home and got it on eBay, but I really didn't have room to actually take two of these home. Um, but if I really want them, I can probably pick them up as I come back. I'm not really a popcorn bucket person, but I really wanted the gold one. After thinking about it, I probably should have gotten the blue one too, because I do like the blue and the gold. But I'm not, but that was pretty much it. I'm sure the way the lines were, because I was with Ron and Meredith and pass holder pair Mike and Val and the Philly crew, and I know they were trying to get the popcorn buckets, and we kind of split up, and they got in different lines, and then we would switch off. And while we were in line, we saw other people like the D&G Explorers, John Jenna, Meets World, June, and Rachel, This Life of Ours. So there was just all different people throughout the park, and everything. And I'm sure if I would have been walking, because I seen people go up to other people, like ask how many popcorn buckets are you buying or whatever, because you're allowed to. And some people would be like, hey, I'll pay for your popcorn bucket if you get two of them, type of thing or something, because the lines were long. They really stretched throughout the parks and stuff like that. So for these popcorn buckets now, it looks like you can find them pretty much all over the place, or at least from pictures that I've seen on social media. Actually, Monarch Moments, I will say I got to the park right before it opened. I asked around. I was at the Polynesian the night before watching the fireworks for Enchantment, and I had asked them what time they were starting the monorail and everything. And then I asked at my front desk when I got back to All Star Music, and they said about 4:30. So I did basically went back to my room, showered, put on my clothes, and kind of rested for a little bit. And when it was time to really get going and get out to the bus, luckily for me, at All Star Music, they only had half of the resort open. So they didn't have the full resort, because lines at other resorts were pretty long at that early in the morning. At All Star Music, I walked right up. There was probably about 10 people in front of me, and everybody that was in line there basically all got on that first bus that came to the resort that morning. And we were at the gates before they decided to open up the park. But there were tons of other people. And I know at first it was raining, because they said, yeah, the buses are going to start working at 4:30, and they did have transportation people there, but they had to wait for the notice that the Magic Kingdom was ready to let people come on the buses. But by then there were all other people that were at the resorts that you could walk to, or trying to Uber or Lyft to the Contemporary and that, and they weren't letting people go to those areas. So those Uber drivers and Lyft people had to drop them off somewhere along the sidewalks and stuff if you did that. And there was a couple people ahead of me in line at All Star Music that they said, I would stay here, because you're not going to be able to get a Lyft or an Uber and go down. And there was a lot of traffic, because I was telling, hello, Kelly, hands full, heart full. So the Philly crew and different people, when I started my live stream, like, yeah, they had no problem, because most of that rush was already past that, and they pulled right into the parking lot. But they did have the road to the Contemporary pretty much blocked off, and it was lined up and stuff. Because I know some other people were at their resorts, and they didn't know that was going to open, and they saw that Resort TV1 was live inside the park. But it was crazy, because I got in and kind of walked in, and everybody was running towards the Emporium and that. And luckily, I was paying attention enough that there was cast members out with the queue codes to go into the big top thing to get into the virtual queue. So I was able to scan that and get myself registered for the queue, and get some other people I knew I was meeting up with, and I put all of us in, that many people in. And so then by the time they actually got there, the queue and everything was full. Plus, of course, you heard that the internet kind of crashed on Disney at that day and stuff. So they, but then by then I had stepped inside the Emporium, and it was just crazy crowded. It was hard to get back out because people were just going nuts, grabbing stuff and pushing cast members and stuff. It's unfortunate that happened because where a lot of those people were going and stuff like that. But you just wonder if they probably should have had the doors closed and a queue set up ready to go for people to go in, and kind of slow that down, because by the time I did get to go into the Emporium with Ron and Meredith and everyone, they got control of the place and everything was calmed down, and they were able to put out those goofy blue cups that everybody was fighting over and stuff like that, and grabbing all the stuff. But some of the merchandise was already gone, like the Loungefly backpacks, because I did see them in there, but I wasn't able to get to that area, because I would have picked one up for Meredith at that time if I would have had my hands on one. But it was just getting too dangerous, and I thought, I'm out of here. It's not worth it, and everything. So, but when we did get to go back through, I was able to pick up a couple of things that was helpful for some relatives and stuff. So, like the soap dispenser, I got one of these. So that's pretty neat. I also picked up the partner statue puzzle from the Emporium. So that'll be fun to build at some point. This shirt I picked up 2 days before when I was with Zach and Angela at the Magic Kingdom for the last night of Happily Ever After. I wish they would have had more in the adults, but they pretty much sold out. I got lucky and saw this on the shelf, but I wish they would have still had more, because this was actually going to be for me, but then I found out that one of my other relatives wanted this shirt, and I thought I'll just keep looking and everything for myself. So I'm going to give this to that relative, just because, like I said, I can try and get it later. Hopefully it comes back out. If not, then I do have other shirts and everything like that, but this one was kind of my favorite in all the shirts and that. No, unfortunately, they did not do any type of recognition of the 50th anniversary of the opening day of Walt Disney World. I don't know if maybe down the road, because he actually did it on another date, that they might do it. But all the other parks actually, I heard, had some type of official opening and everything like that. I don't know if it was true if Joe Rohde actually was at the Animal Kingdom. I don't know, because I don't know if anybody that actually was there and maybe videoed it or anything like that. But yeah, they pretty much didn't recognize anything of the 50-year history of Walt Disney World, except maybe to the media. They did have a lot of media stuff, but unfortunately, and it's too bad that a lot of that stuff wasn't live for that day. And they did days and nights before the actual opening of October 1st. And then, of course, they had the big media event that I filmed the fireworks from the Polynesian Resort on the Wednesday or the Thursday night. After I did the Bob Gurr thing, I went to the Polynesian Resort and did that. Then while I was in Disney Springs the one morning, I went into the Lego store. The one day they didn't have it, but then the last day that I went down to Disney Springs, I was able to get the Lego castle. They had a whole stack of them. I saw yesterday they were in the World of Disney, but they were going pretty fast too, just because I was watching a stream of a person in the World of Disney, plus they bought it then. I know they had them on Shop Disney, but they sold pretty quickly, because I know Dad Bill's got one and his box didn't look too good after he got it. But this is the Disney Mini Castle. They were only limiting one per person at the Lego store. So I was kind of glad I got it. I wish I could have gotten another one. I probably should have went back around later to get another one, just because I know somebody else would have liked this back here at home. I don't know if my Lego store will get it because I keep looking on their website to see if they're on there. They just have the big expensive castles. So this was pretty reasonable price. So, and I figure there's a little bit more space for this than something else. Welcome in, Cherie, Surfer Girl, Kathy, and Randy. I think I said hello to you before. Sorry if I missed you. But that was that. So we'll probably do a build stream on this one at some point. I picked up the Keurig cups, Joffrey's coffee, dark coffee cups for my dad. He likes the dark coffee. I thought, I'll pick it up. So I picked these up for him. So I know he'll drink it because he likes the dark coffee, dark roasted. So I picked up the coffee. I found a magnet. I'll be putting that on our refrigerator. The magnet. This I just picked up at Walmart when I went to Walmart because, believe it or not, I actually had to buy. Yeah, that would have been good. All I saw was the decaf today, or not decaf, the dark coffee, and then they had the regular type that you put in to a regular coffee maker. But when I was in Walmart, I actually had to buy another suitcase to actually get a lot of my stuff home. Because I was like, well, where am I gonna? I could have left my clothes and donated them, the clothes that I took, but I did stop at Walmart and picked up another suitcase to bring home a lot of the stuff so I could spread it out because my carry on and everything was packed, so it was just better that I did that. But I like this keychain because they have the hook and everything, and then I figured, well, I'll get the Mickey Mouse one. Now, the other thing I picked up was Ratatouille socks. So I wish I had picked up 2 pairs because I actually have 2 people in my family that would have probably worn these socks. So I just got to decide who gets them. But they're cute. It has Remy and Emil on them. I kind of wish I would have picked up another pair. But hopefully they'll still have stuff like that too. Have a great night, Movie Mania. Nick, thank you for stopping in. Yeah, don't forget, I'm not sure if they're going live at 7 p.m., but I know the Disney Nerd Herders. I also know at 8 p.m., TNG Explorers, and I know Joy. Not sure what she calls her channel, but Joy to the World, I believe, which is Joy S. I know she's going live at 8 p.m. And then, of course, at 9 p.m., I know the This and That crew will be going live. And sometimes Monarch Moments, you can always look out for that, but I'm not sure if they're going live this evening or not. I haven't really looked. And of course, Pete McDevitt will be live also throughout the evening, whether it's baseball or a creator talk type of show. But good night, Nick. Thank you and everything. Then I had a request, and I'll grab the other ones. My sister had told me my nephew wanted like the thank you, Ryan, Captain Akron. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Monarch Moments. But my nephew wanted the rainbow lollipops. I picked up 4 of them because I didn't know if his brother wanted one too, and they have girlfriends and stuff like that. And then I also picked them up these unicorn rainbow lollipops in the bag from Goofy's Candy. The one thing I'm disappointed, Hitchhiking Bones, and I don't know if it's because there's a shortage or they're not making them anymore, but I cannot find the sour cherry candy that Goofy's Candy made. But they're the sour cherry balls. I know you can find them in regular stores, but it was always fun to get them. They always had fruit flavors and the cherry flavors in the Goofy's candy bags. But I found all kinds of other candy, but not those, the sour cherry balls that a lot of people like. And I didn't go to the Goofy's candy store to see if they had them, but I didn't see any over on property, so I don't know if there's a shortage or they're not making them anymore. Yeah. But I know I can find them at other places, even in Pittsburgh. They're just not Goofy's Candy sour cherry balls. And then I picked up 4 of these for my nephews, and then they can decide what they want to do with them. But they did have a giant one. And when my sister had asked me, oh yeah, my nephew wanted one of those lollipops, and I thought, don't tell me he wants that real big one that's like 30. I think it was like 30 some dollars. And granted, I would have had the annual pass discount, but I thought, that's kind of a waste because he would have had to break it to even try to eat it and everything like that. So, and she said, oh no, I sent her pictures of all the different sizes of the lollipops. So she told me which ones to get, and then I figured they would like the unicorn ones because they're a rainbow also, and they come in the package. And then I have 2 magic bands. I was able to pick up the one through when you reserve your resort, the 50th anniversary. This one was picked up by friends of mine that I had seen. This was whenever they first did the first drop of the merchandise. So I wanted this one. So this particular magic band. So I have a couple of new magic bands because I also have a day of magic band. It's in one of the bags. And then since I couldn't find the other blue shirt, but I also picked this up for one of my other relatives too. But it's all the parks for 50 years. I kind of settled for that one also, just for now. So hopefully I'll be able to find the other one at some point. Yeah, my kids always get those giant lollipops. And that's what I'm guessing why he wanted one of them. Because I'm not sure if they sell them around here in some of the stores. I never really noticed. But I'm guessing that's why he always wanted them. Because I know they always liked to get them when they were kids. And I was able to find the backpack I really wanted. They were going pretty fast at Disney Springs. In fact, when I had this in my hands, I was taking it off the rack, and some guy was trying to grab it out of my hands, and I'm like, excuse me, that one I have my hands on and I'm buying it, so get away, please. But this is up in the top, you can put your regular stuff, and then in the bottom, say you have ice cold water or whatever, it's kind of like a cooler bag on the bottom. So I really like the backpack. The only thing I thought is like it is a nice size. It does have the cooler part and everything. So, but up here you can just put a few things in there, and it's a good park bag. Especially if you have like frozen drinks or something, you can put them in there and keep them cool most of the day or whatever. There, they look good, but get the feeling they are just okay. The lollipops, they're not too bad. Yeah, I'm kind of taking it easy on the magic bands because I know pretty soon they'll have those interactive ones. Then I was able to get the pass holder opening day t-shirts when we got our time for the queue to go back to the big top. So I was able to get them. I did see that a lot of this merchandise was on the first at the new Mouse Gears, the creation shop at Epcot. So anybody that was at Epcot that day, they would have been able to walk in and get some of the day of merchandise. I know they had the pass holder t-shirts and I think the pins and that. Amy, did he let go of the bag or did you have to tug it out of his hand? He actually let go of it because I did tug it. So I'm like, excuse me, I'm purchasing that. So my hands were on there. Yeah, they are pretty tasty. Some of the sizes, though, you had to watch because they were like sour flavor and everything. This is the pass holder day of pin that I was able to get. Because if you're a pass holder, they did take you back into another area that you could go through and purchase the pass holder merchandise. And then I picked up a mug, which is wrapped up in one of the shirts right now. Yeah, believe me, because I really wanted that backpack, and I didn't get to the World of Disney before October 1st, before people really went nuts. And I know that they had a lot of the merchandise there beforehand because I know like Ron and Meredith had gotten a lot of their stuff before October 1st and everything. But this is also the mug that I was able to get. 50 years of magic. The iridescent mug. But yeah, the day I went to the World of Disney on the 2nd, it was just nuts in there. People just grab it. And unfortunately, they were breaking ornaments and different things, which, that kind of bothered me. It's like, you know what, calm down. The stuff's there. They're trying to put it out, and you're breaking merchandise that people now can't buy. And, and eventually there's going to be, obviously, they're refilling things, but it's not some of the things that people are looking for that are coming back in stock yet. So that's the sad thing right now of everything. So yeah, that mug will go into my collector's cabinet. It won't ever be used. I don't really buy a lot of mugs and stuff, but since this one was the 50th anniversary and iridescent, and it does have the dates and everything, I will keep that in my where I keep a lot of my collectibles. But I'm just going to wrap it up so it don't get broken before I can actually properly put it away. And then I did pick up one of the Day of Magic bands. My problem is I have so many magic bands that it's like, yeah, why am I buying these? Because you can only use one or two at a time. But this is the Day of Magic band. And then I did get one, like I said, the blue one that they had on when you can purchase like your magic bands and stuff for your resort stay. I picked up the blue one there, and that's the one I use for the trip and everything. So, and then I did pick up like a smaller ornament too. It's kind of buried in the clothing here. But just this particular small one. I know they had the glass ones. I didn't really want to. I like the glass ones, but they kind of break a little easier, and I just wanted something subtle. So, but they, like I said, I picked up the magnets, and they just have other things, and I'm sure they'll have different things as time goes on. Hopefully, most of the merchandise does get put back out. I mean, they're supposed to be celebrating for 18 months. I'm sure by the end of the 18 months, things will get a little thin, but that's, yeah. In fact, I have a lot of magic bands that are unused that I need to go around and some of the boxes and bags I have and get them collected to see what's there and what they're unactivated. So, they're just kind of sitting there right now and see. But that's pretty much all the merchandise. The only other thing I did pick up, I really wanted this from before, but it's a Chubby doll. And they actually had them back in because when I went in June, they didn't have the Chubbies, and they actually had a bunch of them. So I was able to pick up my Chubby plush, and he does that. And then I did pick up one of the Runaway Railway cars that they sell. The railway cars. Because the ride vehicles, I collect a lot of the ride vehicles. So I picked this one up. And then when I went to Steakhouse 71 for lunch, I kind of like what Ed did. He asked about a steak, and they actually did it. But at that point, I really never thought about it or even asked about it, but I had the steak burger, and I did take a relative of mine to the Steakhouse 71 for lunch, and I actually got the fancy magic drink that they had. It was lemonade, and then they had a Mickey head that was like a fizzy bomb that you put inside your lemonade, and it made it like a strawberry flavored lemonade, but then you got to keep his plastic. It's a heavy plastic cup, not real heavy, but it did survive the trip home and wrapped up. But it's a 50th anniversary, and they do have special drinks out and about. throughout the resort that you can get one of these cups. Yes, he is the guy from the Runaway Railway that's up in the barn, Chubby. He's kind of at the end in the barn, and he just kind of, and then if you press him, he flaps his wings. I just thought he was kind of cute. And I had seen it early on. And when I was down there in June, I was kind of disappointed they didn't have it. And I'm thinking, you're not going to get Chubby back? Why would you have that? He's part of the ride and everything. Yeah, that's, I heard him say that. And I'm like, oh, I should have kind of asked about it. But I actually had dinner reservations for Steakhouse 71. And I changed it around because I wasn't sure if I wanted to go for dinner at that point, and so I switched it to lunch, and that way my relative could actually join me for lunch because they don't really get to go out a lot. They do, but not to the Disney restaurants and everything like that. So that's why I switched it to lunch. But it was kind of weird because I know I had changed the reservation and everything, but I didn't realize that the internet system was down and it was affecting the Instagram and my Disney app and all of that stuff because all I could see was the one that showed my old reservation and everything. And I'm like, I know I had to send them the email so they could get in because at the Contemporary, they were being very, very strict about who was going in there and everything like that. And when I gave my name and everything, he looked it up and he goes, yeah, it's at 115 or whatever. And so he was able to find it. And luckily, I was within the window that I was allowed to pull into the lot. But my relative was already in the lot, so I don't know, if the guy just like, okay, go ahead. And then whenever I pulled in, he was just kind of like, okay, I'm getting tired of having all these people pulling in here or something. I don't know. But I really enjoyed the Steakhouse 71. I will be doing that for dinner. I definitely will do that for dinner. I'm hoping to get Space 220 at some point. I'm probably going to have to, I keep checking and everything like that, but hopefully not in the near future, but in at some point when things kind of die down and it's not as like, oh, I got to go try Steakhouse or the Space 220. It does look interesting. I'm not sure, although I kind of look at the menu and I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm crazy about that. So I'll just have to look at a lot of different reviews of different people's foods and stuff like that. Cause some of the food just doesn't look to my liking, but it's enjoyable. Some of the restaurants that I did try, not Ohana's, Kona Cafe. A lot of these places, it's been a long time, or I've done them for breakfast, like Kona Cafe. So that was the first time I had gone for lunch and everything. I did the sticky wings and the pot stickers. I know they have some other dishes, but I know I'm not sometimes crazy about a stir fry. And when other people that like stir fry and said they weren't too crazy about it, it wasn't something I wanted to try. Although when I went to Sanaa, of course, I had gone to Sanaa, but it's been a long time. We did the bread service, and I did try something a little bit different. The shrimp and the rice was okay, but it was something that I probably would not just food or a show as well. I think it's both. It looks cool to go in there, and I think that's why everybody like, oh, I got to go try it and everything at the same time. But at the other time, I'm like, okay, am I going to eat the food or not? I don't know. I'll have to take a look again. But at Sanaa, the meal that I got was like a shrimp rice bowl type of thing with vegetables and stuff. I ate all the shrimp and most of the rice, but then the sauce on it wasn't to my liking. Probably something I wouldn't get. Next time I'll probably stick with the steak that they have there at Sanaa. But the bread service is delicious. So if you go there, definitely try out the bread service. That was really good. So Kona Cafe, Steakhouse 71, and the Sanaa. Everything else was pretty much quick service and just the regular food court stuff. Cosmic Rays, Backlot Express, and then the food court at All Star Music. So, and then I did go through McDonald's one time.
because I was looking for the toys and stuff. So I did stop there at one point just to go in and check out the new McDonald's and everything. It was kind of interesting inside there because it is environmental friendly and um, does, of course, all green and solar power and everything like that. But that's pretty much it for everything that I have. If I do find the other pins or any other merchandise, I'll show them on a future stream. It was a great trip. It was something that I knew I wanted to be there. Hello, William, England, Portugal. Thank you for joining. Um, I knew that was a trip that I did not want to miss being there on October 1st. Although there was times that I was like, do I really want to be there? Do I want to wait? Do I whatever? But I figure in 50 years from now for the 100th anniversary, I'm not going to be alive, but some of the people that had kids that I was hanging out with, their kids most certainly probably will be, as long as they're healthy and things go pretty good. They'll be able to be back there and in 100 years for the 100th year anniversary. Okay, this is our dreams, Angela. Thank you for joining. It was great seeing you and Zach and Abby and Jeff during my trip and having lunch with you and Zach in the Magic Kingdom at the Kona Cafe. So that was great day and hanging out with Jeff at some point during the 50th anniversary. In fact, I rode 2 rides the whole day on October 1st, Haunted Mansion, because I rode that with Jeff. When we're walking around waiting for the people and just checking out the scenes and everything. And then I did the People Mover. Oh, yes, I'm hoping to be back soon. Hopefully everything goes well, that I'll be able to get back real soon. But yeah, it was something I wanted to do, and I did give up a couple trips in the summer that I was planning to do. Hello to Philly crew, thank you for joining. Just getting ready to wrap up, but I did do all my merchandise haul, or at least most of it, as much as I could get out. But it was a great time. It was great to meet Ron and Meredith and Madison and Ronnie and Mike and Val and all the other people that I met along the way. Some I had met in June, but kind of remembered them, but then really got to see them a lot more during this trip because I was there longer. And at different points of the day of the parks, spent a day with morning with Russ at the Hollywood Studios, and got to meet the D&G Explorers a couple times, and just all different types of people. And of course, Adventures with VP, Mylene and VP. Unfortunately, Arlene was working, and I didn't get to say hello to her. I got to see Cruising with Food, a lot of the people that I knew from the D&G Explorers. So, and everything. So it was great fun. And I, thinking about the fireworks show, I know when we first saw Enchantment, I wasn't real thrilled. Although I did like it from the Polynesian because I liked how the fireworks were doing. And I know Jeff and Angela were at the Grand Floridian. So if you're ever looking for options and you don't want to be in the crowd at Main Street and you don't care about the projections, those 2 places are pretty good places to go watch the fireworks. Because I feel the fireworks are pretty big, and there's a lot more, it seems like. At first I wasn't too like crazy with the Enchantment. I know they're tweaking it because I've heard other people on stream saying that they're filling in the gaps where they had gaps and everything like that. I'm not sure, Kelly. I would love to get back in December because I see they're going to have candlelight processional plus different lighting for all the different icons that they're going to do for Christmas lightings and everything. And so I'm kind of toying with that. My problem is I do have a trip planned in November, like a quick weekend, like November 6th through the 9th type of thing, to meet a whole bunch of other people and go to the first Christmas party. But that's toying with that idea of possibly trying to go for a quick weekend in December. So I'll have to see about that. I would love to go back for New Year's Eve, and I do have that time off at that time. So that's the other big thing of why I wouldn't go back in the middle of December if I could go New Year's Eve for that weekend and everything. But that's the whole thing. Although being there October 1st was like a New Year's Eve or 4th of July holiday with people everywhere. It was just crazy because I know I went live in the middle of the crowd on Main Street waiting for the fireworks, and my sister's like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, standing in the middle of Main Street, and you couldn't really move anywhere. That's how crowded it was, and they had to basically shut down going that way and stuff. Okay, I will keep that in mind because I know there's other people and everything. Okay, I will definitely look you guys up if you're going to be there. I know you guys will be there, so plus all that different stuff. So, but that's basically pretty much it. It was a great trip. It'll be memorable for a while and everything because, like I said, once in a lifetime opportunity and that was something I wanted to do, especially being a big Disney fan and knowing the history and everything. But I also know for me, Disneyland is also on my radar. I'd really like to go back when they get back on the tours of like walking in Walt's footsteps and stuff because the history and all of that stuff is kind of important for me and that's why I'm glad I did go to the Bob Gurr thing just to hear all that history and talking and stuff like that. Because a lot of people don't know Bob Gurr actually was fired by the Disney company after so many years of working there, and he started his own independent corporation and stuff. So that and he tells you that in his talking and stuff like that. So, but that was a great opportunity. So, and it was great seeing all the different people I met. So, I hope you guys have a great evening. I do thank you for joining. If you haven't already done so, please hit that thumbs up button. If you're watching the replay, leave a comment. Let me know what you liked out of the merchandise, or maybe you were at the celebration also and what you liked and enjoyed. And I do thank everyone for joining. And like I always say, let the adventures begin. And thank you all for joining. And have a great night. And I'll see you in the chats, everyone. Have a great night. Bye.